Hey there, it's February 28th. It's the end of our February No Spend Month. I want to tell you how it went, what worked well, what didn't work, and what we learned from it, so you can decide if a no spend month is right for you, and you can have a heads up of some of the things that might happen and some ideas to make the most of it. I'm Stephanie from sixfiguresunder.com, where I make our family's personal finances public. If you could use some frugal inspiration and financial motivation, just click subscribe to join our community and you'll be on the way to reaching your financial goals. Okay, before I get in too deep into all the details of what we learned, I should tell you what our rules for our no spend month were. Now, I'm a big proponent of everyone making up their own rules for their no spend month. For our family, we decided we were going to spend nothing on entertainment, nothing on clothing, nothing on kids' activities, nothing on household miscellaneous, and we were going to cut our grocery budget down to $100 for the whole month. So essentially, it was a pantry challenge as well, with just $100 of wiggle room so we could get some milk and fresh produce and other things that came up during the month. At the end of the video, I'll go through all what we were expecting to spend and how much we ended up spending. Okay, let me start with what went well. First, staying out of the store. So we used to live far out in the country where it was 40 minutes to the grocery store or Walmart or Target or anything like that. Now we're 10 minutes away from grocery stores and Walmart. So it's a lot more tempting to go to the store more often. And when you're in the store, when I'm in the store at least, I find things that are great deals, I find things to stock up on, I find things that I didn't remember that I even needed. So going in the store can be really dangerous. During our no spend month, I stayed out of the store, which was really helpful. I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer, right? You don't go in the store, you don't spend money. Well, that's what happened. I didn't go to the store and I didn't spend money and I wasn't tempted to spend money. So that worked really well. The second thing that worked really well is that I did not look in the promotions tab of my email and I did not look at ads and flyers and things that would tempt me to want to buy because it was a good deal. Now, I did see some of the emails come through that I read the subject line and the subject line did tempt me a little bit, but I didn't open the email, I didn't go any further. But I remember feeling sad, like, oh man, I'm gonna miss out on this. But now, at the end of the month, looking back, I'm trying to give you an example of one of those emails that I got that I was like, oh man, but I can't even remember what they were. So obviously, it wasn't that big of a deal. Now, I'm a little bit tempted by grocery ads too. I'm actually more tempted probably by getting grapes on sale than I am at getting a shirt on sale. So I didn't even let myself look at the grocery ads that came through, so I wouldn't be tempted. That really helped us lower our spending this month. The third thing that worked really well is I started making homemade bread again. If you've seen our grocery hauls, we have a family of 7. We go through a lot of bread. Back when we were paying off 6 figures of student loan debt, I made all of our own homemade bread all the time. Like for years, I made our homemade bread, didn't buy bread at the store. Well, in the past couple years that we've been, student loan debt free, we've gotten into buying bread. Like I said, we live closer to the store now. It's easier to go and it's more tempting to buy it instead of make it. So that's what I do a lot. But this no spend month has really gotten me back into making our own bread. I don't think I bought bread at all this month. I made it all from scratch. And for us, that's cheaper. I've got a whole blog post where I talk about, making the price comparison. So for the kind of bread we like to buy and the kind of bread we make, it's cheaper to make it ourselves. So we saved money this month by buying our own bread so we didn't have to go to the store and weren't tempted to buy other things. Okay, now some of the things that didn't work so well. First is cloth diapers. Now at the beginning of the month, I decided to switch back to cloth diapers. Of our 5 kids, we've used cloth diapers with 2.5 of them. So we have all the supplies, it's not a big deal, but we've kind of been lazy lately. It's winter, it's cold and rainy outside, so we haven't been using cloth diapers just because I can't hang them on the clothesline to dry, which is what I usually do. So we've taken a break from them. I thought for this no spend month, we'll go back to cloth diapers. We won't have to buy disposables, it'll be great. And we did that at the beginning, but then partway through, my son got a diaper rash, and if you use cloth diapers, then you know that you can't use creams like Desitin or butt paste with cloth diapers. So I had to get some disposables. Since I know that they're all the way at the back of the store and I'd have to walk past a lot of temptations, I ordered them online and picked them up in the store. I could have had them delivered, but I was in a hurry to get them. Okay, the second thing that didn't work so well in our no spend month was that we had a subscription that came through that I didn't remember about. We have a Dollar Shave Club subscription, and I usually pause it because we've got tons of razors we don't really need anymore right now. So I just pause it, and every couple of months it reminds me. Well, I missed the email where it reminded me, probably it was in my promotions tab, where it reminded me that a shipment was coming, so I wasn't able to cancel it or pause it. It came, it was like $7, so not a big deal, but man, why did it have to come on a no spend month? Okay, a third thing that didn't go so well for our no spend month was some unplanned expenses. We ended up taking a trip to Arizona for my grandma's funeral, which was a great service. It was great to be with family, but that was some spending that we weren't expecting to have to make. I looked at getting a plane ticket just for me to go, and it was nearly $600. The whole family wanted to come anyway, so we just drove down. We spent $219 in gas. With traffic and everything, it ended up being about a 14-hour drive. On the way down, we split it between 2 days because of how our schedule was, and we stayed the night, spent $90 to stay at a motel. On the way back, we drove it all in one day, so we didn't have to stop anywhere. While we were in Arizona, we stayed at my grandma's house, so there was no housing cost there, and we bought our own groceries, fixed our own meals. We ate out at Taco Bell on the way home. So I think in groceries we spent a total of $38, but that was included in our $100 that we planned to spend for the month, so it worked out great. So even though not all of that spending from our trip fell into the categories of what we were planning to not spend on, it was still money that we weren't planning on spending. We have an emergency fund and we could have used that, but we were fine just cash flowing it. Okay, now to tell you our big takeaways, the things that we learned. First, I didn't realize how much time I spent in the store, how much time I actually spend shopping. With school pickup and kids having activities all over the place, I spend a lot of time driving around. And of course the activities don't match up all right in a row, so there's 30 minutes here or an hour there in between dropping one kid off and picking another kid up. So I don't want to go home and then as soon as I get home have to turn around and drive back. So what do? I go to the store. And when I'm in the store, I spend money. So during this no spend month, I didn't let myself go to the store in those little pockets of time. I made sure that the little kids in the car had something to do to keep them entertained, and we just sat and we waited instead of going in the store. One, that saves us money from not going in and buying things that we don't necessarily need, and two, that gave me more time to actually do something. I could read a book or catch up on something or make a phone call, do those little things that are on my to-do list. I could get those done while we were waiting in the car instead of going to the store and spending money. The second big thing I learned in this round of no spend month has to do with our food storage. So like I said, we made this kind of like a pantry challenge, just eating from our food storage, our freezer, our shelves, our fridge, stuff we already had besides that $100 of wiggle room. So one of the major things that I learned is we're lacking on some of the basic food storage things. We've got plenty of oats and rice and wheat and, you know, bottled fruits and vegetables that I've canned myself, and you know, we've got lots of basics, but there are some basics we were missing, like oil. We usually buy like a gallon of canola oil and like a 3-pound bucket of coconut oil. When those are gone, we buy more, but I don't really have a big supply of it. So that was something I realized I need to stock up on oil. Now, if you're not into food storage or cooking from scratch, probably sounds funny that I'm talking about oil, but you need oil to make bread, you need fat, butter, oil to cook your eggs, you know, different things like that. Oil's one of the basics. So this is a valuable realization, because if we ever have to actually live off of our food storage long term, we're going to need to have some oil stored. Okay, you're probably dying to know the actual numbers, how much we actually spent. Let me tell you first what we were looking at saving. So it might be hard to actually know how much you saved because you didn't spend, so you don't know how much you were going to spend. So I'm just going to give you our average from last year. So our average spending on clothing, $65 a month. Average spending on family entertainment, $55 a month. Average spending on kids activities was $55 a month. Average spending on household miscellaneous is $218 a month. And average spending on groceries is just over $400 a month. And like I said, we did budget $100 of our $400 normal average grocery budget for our no spend month. So we're looking at $700 about that we could have saved. Now let me tell you what we actually spent. On clothing, we spent $0, so we saved $65. On family entertainment, we spent $0, so we saved $55. On kids activities, we spent $0, so we saved $55. So on household miscellaneous, we spent $37, which means we saved $181 compared to the average of what we did last year. And on groceries, we spent only $77, so we saved $323 compared to the average of what we spent last year. That includes our food spending from our trip. So in total, in those 5 categories that pertain to our no spend month, we saved $679. We did spend around $300 on the gas and motel to go to my grandma's funeral, but that was money we would have spent whether we were having a no spend month or not. So I'm not counting that against our no spend month success. So would we do a no spend month again? Absolutely, and we probably will. Not only was it a way that we were able to save $679, but it got us in a frugal mindset. If you need a jump start towards your financial goals, or you need to save a big chunk of money fast, you should definitely try a no spend month. You can do this.